Welcome back, design students. In this video, we're going to assemble the clips we imported into a finished sequence. And then we're going to add animated effects, a fade in and a fade out in particular. And we're going to add animated titles at the end, and then we're going to export it as a finished video. So let's get started. So I have four sequences here, 4 clips, and I can either look at them by double-clicking here and looking at them in what is called the source monitor here, or I can change to the icon view and look at them this way. This is my opening sequence. So to start the process, all you do is pick your first clip and just drop it into the timeline like so, and that will come in as a clip. You can zoom in and out on your sequence by clicking and dragging this little slider down at the bottom. This is your timeline, and this is your playhead. So I'm going to give myself a little room in the beginning here on this first clip. And I think it would be nice if I had a nice fade in there, if I didn't just blink in on that first clip. So I'm going to select that clip, and I'm going to come over here to the left-hand side of my workspace and find the Effect Controls tab right here at the top. And with that clip selected in the timeline, you can see here that it's also here in the Effect Controls tab. Here are the effects that I can control. I can control the motion, position, rotation, scale. I can control the opacity, and I can remap the time. I can speed it up or slow it down. So I'm going to open up the opacity. And right now the opacity is at 100%. I want it to start at 0. I want it to be invisible. So I'm going to click on that number and change it to 0. So now when I hit that point on the clip, see, it's not visible at all. But I'm going to get right on that first frame, and I'm going to now animate the opacity to fade in. So in order to start the animation process and set my first keyframe, I need to click the watch right here next to opacity. And that sets my first keyframe right here. All of these effects have watches. That means they are animatable. So now I'm going to move forward a little bit, and then I'm going to change the opacity to 100. And now I have a nice fade in, like so. And that looks better than just blinking in from nothing. So now I'm going to find my last frame of that clip, and I can do that by using my arrow keys. I'm just nudging left and right here. There's the last frame. There's where the next clip goes. I'm going to find my next clip, which is this one, and drag it into the timeline, and it snaps right into place. So now I have this. And that one's a little fast. So I think I'm going to slow that down a little bit. I'm going to right click on this clip, and that brings up a whole lot of options here, and I'm going to select speed duration, and I'm going to slow that down to 50%. And notice it gets longer. So let's see what that looks like. And it gets a little choppy because what it's done is it's just stretched those frames out. That's okay. It's better than it was. And because there's nothing else here, it's going to stop at the end where the next clip should go. I'm going to select the next clip, which is this one. I'm going to slow that one down too. Now, I just noticed something with that one that's a problem. The problem with this one, this last one, is we transition to space, and then suddenly we're not in space anymore. I'm going to need to re-render those frames, but this is still good for what we're doing here right now. So let's get the last clip and put it in place and see what that looks like. Again, kind of fast, so I'm going to slow it down as well. And see what that looks like. There you go. So now I think at the end here I would like a fade out, a fade to black. So after it touches down right here, I'm going to fade to black. Now I select that clip. It's selected. You can see it's white here, so that means it's selected. And I'm going to go to the Effect Controls tab. I already have it open. And here's the clip. You can see I'm towards the end of it, just like in my timeline. Now, this time, I want to start at 100% opacity. It's already at 100%. So I'm going to turn the watch on, and that sets my first keyframe. Then I'm going to go to the end, find that last frame by using my arrow keys. There it is. And make it 0. And it sets a keyframe automatically. So now I have a fade out. So in the next video, we're going to add titles at the end, and we're going to animate those titles and render out the finished video. And I'll see you then.